Can you talk about how there's nothing outside of our consciousness, outside of our awareness? Does that mean we totally create everything, what's around us, by our individual sense and interpretation of what's experienced? What about subconscious? Does it also influence what's happening to us? Do we create from the subconscious as well as the conscious mind? So just when we say out of our consciousness, it's not a personal consciousness. That's not the same thing as subconsciousness or anything to do with the person. Like consciousness is this looking, which isn't anything and isn't separate from everything. And then there's also this sense of I am. And the I am is the world. So you could say it's like nothing and everything. So that which is experiencing is absolutely impersonal. It doesn't have an emotion, a thought, an idea, a language, a name. It's just experiencing. It's pure, it's fresh, it's expanded. And that's everybody's nature right now. Does that mean we do? So does that mean we totally create everything, what's around us, by our individual sense and interpretation of what's experienced? We're never really going to know unless science really advances and begins to look in more creative ways at reality. Quantum physics begins to suggest that what we look at is influenced by that which is looking. So there's this whole experiment by like prior to things being looked at, they're all possibilities, and then when they're looked at, they form one possibility, which is so mind-blowing. So it does imply that the instrument which looks at the objects makes them form in a particular way. So it does imply that we're kind of in some sort of computer game, but we don't know who or what's computer game it is. So it does imply that the brain, which is looking at the object, is influencing it or creating it. But that's in the dream level. Like, it's not to do with consciousness. Like, consciousness is just watching whatever plays. But in the dream level, there's a good possibility that life is being formed by the programming of the body-mind. So if you have a body-mind mechanism that's very victim orientated, it will create a victim reality. And some of that is conscious and some of it's subconscious. So sometimes you consciously are playing the victim and sometimes it's unconscious. And it does imply that both are affecting it. Yeah. That's pretty mind-blowing. But we don't know. Like, in the end, it's mystery. Like, life is a mystery. We don't know anything for sure. The only thing that we know for sure is that it's a happening. Like, this is. But we don't know what it is, we don't know why it is, and we don't know how it is. It just is. And that's our certainty, and that's actually the freedom. Yes, I think I answered your other questions. Thanks for your question, Kasia. It's a very confusing question. Not confusing like yours is, but I can imagine, like, when you're hearing the answer, it's like confusing because it's an intense question.